Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bakaradash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching this word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered to the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And I say shalom to your Akim out there. And this is another news article for In the News on October 5th, 2022, on this Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And the highlight of this news article, and it reads from abcnews.go.com and by Hung Jin Kim and Kim Tong of Hung Associated Press. And I highlighted the news article, and it reads for In the News of October 5th, 2022, and it reads: North Korea continues missile launches as U.S. redeploys carrier. North Korea has launched 2 ballistic missiles towards its eastern waters as the United States redeployed one of its aircraft carriers near the Korean Peninsula in a response to North Korea's recent launch of a powerful missile over Japan. And it says North Korea ballistic missile sent directly over Japan. The Japanese citizens were shaken on Tuesday after a North Korean ballistic missile was sent directly over Japan for the first time in 5 years before landing in the sea, according to the Associated Press of Seoul, South Korea. North Korea launched 2 ballistic missiles towards its eastern waters on Thursday after the United States redeployed one of its aircraft carriers near the Korean Peninsula in response to Pyongyang's previously launch of a powerful nuclear-capable missile over Japan. South Korean Joint Chief of Staff said in a statement the launch were 22 minutes apart from North Korea's capital region. And it says South Korea has boosted its surveillance posture and maintains a readiness in close coordinations with the United States. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida also confirms North Korea missile launches, says the weapons firing are absolutely intolerable. The latest missile launches suggest that North Korea leader Kim Jong-un is determined to continue with weapons testing aiming at boosting its nuclear arsenal in defiance of international sanctions. Many experts say Kim's goal is to eventually win U.S. recognition as a legitimate nuclear state as the lifting of those sanctions, though the international community has shown no signs of allowing that to happen. It says the launches were North Korea's 6th round of missile tests less than 2 weeks, which had prompted condemnation from the United States and other countries. Japanese Defense Minister Yakuso Hiromanda said the 2 North Korean missiles launched Thursday morning flew 350 to 800 kilometers of 217 to 500 at a maximum altitude of 50 to 100 kilometers and 30 to 60 miles before landing in waters outside Japan's exclusive economic zone. He have initial analysts suggested the second missile was possible launch on an irregular trajectory. It is a term that has been previously used to describe the flight characteristic of North Korea weapons models after Russia Islander missile, which travels a low altitude and designed to maneuver in flights to improve its chances of evading missile defense. On Tuesday, North Korea staged its most proactive weapons demonstrating in years, firing a intermediate range missile over Japan for the first time in 5 years. The launch led to Japanese government to issue a evacuation alert and halt trains. It says experts say the weapon was likely a Hwasong 12 missile capable of reaching the United States Pacific territory of Guam and beyond. Other missile tests early reportedly, including the Islander land missiles and other ballistic missiles, were designed to strike key targets in South Korea, including U.S. Military bases there. And it says Thursday's launch came at the aircraft carrier, the USS Ronald Reagan, returned to waters east of South Korea in what South Korean military called an attempt to demonstrate the Allies' form willing to counter North Korean continued provocation and threats. The carrier was in the area last week as past drills between South Korea and the United States and the Allies. Others training involving Japan, North Korea consider U.S.-led drills near the peninsula as an invasion, a rehearsal, and viewing training involving a U.S. carrier and more proactive. Provocative. Salakia. North Korea's foreign minister said in a statement Thursday that the redeployment of the Reagan strike group poses a serious threat to the stability.
Brought up my link.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, man. It was two.
Oh, it was $2. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So you was able to get your beer, so. Okay. Sorry. Because I know you spun like 155 and the other was like 1 so. So it was like 3 so. It's alright, bro. Oh yeah, I got you something too, bro. It's alright, bro. It's alright. Says, yeah, these kind of more better than the regular ones.
Peanuts. Yeah, that's the peanuts. I like the peanut one.
Right. Alright, thanks, bro.
Yeah, the regular one, the chocolate one, yeah, I don't like that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Alright, dude. Salakia, let's talk to my brother. Continue reading on with the news article. It says North Korea foreign minister said in a statement Thursday that the redeployment of the Reagan strike group posed a serious threat to the stability of the situation in Korean Peninsula in the vacancy after the North Korea immediate range missile launch. The United States and South Korea also carry their own live drills that have so far involved land-to-land missiles and precision guide bombs dropping from fire jets. It says, but one of it tilt for tat launches nearly caused catastrophic early Wednesday, right? Because I read that report of South Korea try to do a missile because they had United States and South Korea did a somewhat of a drill, and the one of the weapons was misfired or something like that in the wrong direction, I believe. It says the Hwasong-2 missile flipped shortly after a liftoff and crashed into a Air Force base in the eastern coastal city of Gwangyang, if I pronounced that right. South Korea's military said no one was hurt from the crash and civilian casualties weren't affected. It says after Thursday's North Korea launch, the United States, Great Britain, France, Albania, Norway, Ireland calls for an emergency of the UN security of the North Korean foreign minister statement Thursday said a strong condemned the U.S. led efforts as the UN Security Council to tighten sanctions on North Korea over its recent missile tests, which it describes as a just counteraction to joint the U.S. South Korea drills. North Korea has carried out a record number of missiles this year, amending the long diplomacy with the United States. The U.S. led effort aims to convince North Korea to give up on its nuclear program, which is highly doubted right now at the moment. Highly doubted. Because North Korea is going to ignore the United States, they're going to ignore the UN, they're going to ignore Japan, and they definitely going to ignore South Korea. Because, as you know, I previously did videos about Kim Jong Un is going to continue to recognize his country as a nuclear weapon state. I mean, a nuclear weapon country as he continues firing off these missiles, firing, testing these missiles. It says due to the dispute of the U.S.-led sanctions of North Korea. So yeah, hey, these wars and rumors of wars are definitely increasing, and it's definitely increasing between the United States and South Korea and Japan versus North Korea. Bring out that Matthews 24:6, as I always bring out of these sit down lessons. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. Matthew 24:7. And nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Luke 21:9. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be ye not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Yeah, because these rumors of wars increasing, especially on an everyday basis. I mean, it's like every day you look on not like the regular news, but like alternative news around the world, you'll see these tensions increasing between the nations and different kingdoms as well too. That's why I brought out Matthew's 24:6 through verse 7. Of the rumors of wars heating up now more than ever. Joel 3:10, let the weak say I am strong. That's what you're seeing from North Korea. As North Korea, as I mentioned before, ignored the UN of they doing their violation of their nuclear missile tests because they want North Korea to destabilize and deneutralize their nuclear capability, which is Kim Jong Un is not going to follow that order. And he's not going to listen to the United States. He's not going to listen to South Korea. He's not going to listen to Japan. He's not going to listen to anybody. So he's against all of them. And Kim Jong Un at this moment, he's going to do what Kim Jong Un going to do what Kim Jong Un want to do. you know. And yeah, how about Shemal Shad putting that spirit on him, that warlike type, which is in Joel 3:9 of Yahweh Shemal Shad is stirring up the wars of these nations, you know. And I'm gonna bring that out since I mentioned that. This is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this amongst the Gentile, which is the other nations. Prepare war, wake up the mighty man. And that's what you're seeing from Kim Jong Un. Hey, he's Yahweh Shemal Shai is putting that warlike type mindset on the North Koreans, Iranians as well too, and the Russians, and Chinese, That's why you've been seeing these nations doing these military exercise drills, these military ground troop drills, missile launch training, these joint naval base trainings with their allies against their adversaries, just in case if anything goes down or an emergency or public announcement, just like North Korea. Just like Japan made after North Korea fired that missile on Tuesday. So that was just like prime examples of what time that we're living in. Hey, we're living in that time of war. Quietly, slowly but surely, the increase of the nations rising up against nations and kingdom against kingdoms as well too. And this is Book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 10. Beat your plowshares into swords and pruning hooks, and let the weak say I'm strong, right? Just like the nations like Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, and many more other countries, they are definitely showing their nuclear capability, you know. That's why you're starting to see the strength of these other nations, especially that they are adversaries with the modern day Babylon, and others as well too. These nations showing their nuclear capability and strength. It been improved over the years. So it's going to increase more and more and more of these tensions between these nations and different kingdoms. As we see these starting to heat up and increase more and more and more. So with that, that's all I wanted to bring out of this news update from North Korea as they fired 2 more missiles. And you got the United States redeploying their carriers near the Korean Peninsula. So these tensions are definitely stirring up between North Korea versus South Korea, the United States, and Japan. You know, so that Joel 3 and 10 is definitely increasingly and coming to full effect. Let the weak say I am strong was North Korea and many other nations as well too. And this is going to continue to increase more and more and more. So with that, once again, I hope this sit-down lesson for In the News on October 5th, 2022 was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Yahushua. And first and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the 4 corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim that be like unto a speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And until next time, I will say shalom and a ball.